Okay, so I'm gonna try my best to tackle the assignment, and I'm gonna go with option A um, on Baudrillard. And this stuff is tough to sort of wrap your head around, and I it kind of made a little bit more sense listening to the podcast uh, when he referred Baudrillard's ideas loosely to the movie The Matrix. It, I guess, in a way, put images to what Baudrillard was sort of thinking, which I guess, in a way, you can it loops it all in. So I mean, like anyway, okay. I So, how does Baudrillard contend that we are living in a simulated universe? So, according to Baudrillard, we are living in a simulated universe in which signs and images have replaced what is real. Pop culture, the news media, social media specifically doesn't reflect reality. Rather, it constructs it, and it constructs it differently for everybody. Your reality is not the same as my reality because you are shown different things based on where you live, or now especially with algorithms, right? Your Nobody's social media feed is the same as somebody else's because you lingered 1 second longer than somebody else did on an ad. Now all of a sudden it's shaping your reality. um, we can kind of use Disneyland as an example, right? So Disneyland was created to be an escape from reality, where in actuality, what Disneyland is it's sort of a commentary on how America is already a simulation. Um, and that simulation is facilitated by mass media, our hyper mass consumerism culture. Um, the advertising has made these images that doesn't necessarily represent things anymore. It replaces them. It's a copy. And I think that's what Baudrillard was meaning when he came up with the simulacra, right? They're copies of copies of copies, so that the original doesn't have any meaning. It's been replaced by these copies. And it impacts our identity because the simulation alters our identity. So I mentioned the algorithms in your social media feed, how it changes how you can think about not only the world around you but yourself. Um, the truth becomes subjective at that point. Um, and people choose to remain in that simulation because it's easy, right? if you look at the movie The Matrix as an example, and I know it's very loosely based on Baudrillard's ideas, but one of the characters in the movie knows the truth, knows that he's living in a simulation, but chooses to remain in it because he can enjoy a fancy steak dinner. And he says that he wants to be put back in, but he wants to be powerful, he wants to be famous. It's easier to live in that world than it is a post apocalyptic society. Um, so, going on to question 2 on the discussion of semiotics and how that plays into the simulacra. Sorry, I just have to like look at my notes here. I think that Baudrillard really takes the concept of semiotics with the signifier, being the sign, either an image or a sound or a word. And he kind of radicalizes it a little bit. And he argues in a postmodern society that the relationship over time begins to erode and collapse so that the signs only refer to other signs. And I think that's what he means by his simulacra, copies of copies, where the original is no longer relevant. It's only what the signs mean in relation to other signs. I think it's relevant to Baudrillard's ideas, and that when the meaning collapses, all we're left with is the simulation, which ends up being more real than actual reality. I think they kind of become like hyper reality, where it's more real. I think my brain is kind of starting to hurt, but if you look at Disney World, like I had mentioned, it replaces reality with a cleaner version, a happier version, where it's always sunny and everybody's always walking around dancing, so that when you're there, that's reality. But it's not. I think yeah, I hope I explained it. Yeah, my brain hurts.